Hey guys, so basically you saw that I bought a new table saw, and the first thing that you have to do is make a crosscut sled, which is mandatory to make any crosscuts. I don't have a miter saw right now, and I may not even buy one now because I made a crosscut sled. So this video is all about me making that. I made it quite a simple and basic one. It was quite easy to make, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's easy to follow, and stick around, subscribe, because I'm gonna make a bunch of more videos of me making stuff. My next one might even be a saw bench and then a workbench as well. So I have a long list of projects that I'm about to start making. So definitely stick around and keep watching. Let's go check out how I make my CrossCut Sled. Okay, so I have these thin strips of pine which I am going to use as the miter slots. They're a little thicker than the slot itself. So I'm just gonna select the best 2-3 and then measure them down in a very awkward way actually, and I'm just gonna rip cut them so that they come close to the width. And this is me ripping them. It's a little dangerous what I'm doing, I know that, but I was pretty careful, and I put the camera on top of the table saw, which was kind of dumb, so I won't be doing that again. So now I'm just planing it from the sides to thin it out. And I really enjoy planing, to be honest. This is one of my favorite things to do. I'm going to do a bunch of videos more on planing. I'm learning planing myself actually. So I just want to get the size right, and I keep checking if it fits well or not. And until it doesn't do a snug fit, I'll keep at it. This is my big hand planer. I think it's a number 6 or 7. And I really enjoy the strips. It's a nice, clean, single strip. Although this one had a bit of a breakage. So then I check the slot if it fits well, and this one's pretty smooth. Although these are just temporary that I'm using, I'm going to change these with some aluminum or some other material. So that's plywood at the back, and I use my jigsaw after measuring how much I need. I'm using my jigsaw a little precariously. I understood that, I was a little lazy, and I know the edge is gonna break because I haven't supported it. I expect that, but the truth is that I'm going to be cutting the sides anyways on the table saw to make them straight, so I don't really care if there's some tear on any side. So this piece has been cut, and now that I have it, I'm going to sand it so that it's nice and smooth. So now I'm going to put this pretty crappy rip fence, actually. I'm going to be replacing this. I'm going to make one. I'll make a video on that. And I'm going to make sure it's square with the blade. And I am going to cut all 4 sides of the plywood piece to make it even from all sides. So this is a big chunk I'm cutting. The rest is going to be quite thinner. I just need to make it straight from the rest. Once all 4 are done, I'm going to grab my Makita random orbital sander, and I'm going to sand it down. Right now I'm sanding it at 80 grit. After that I'm going to switch over to 120 grit, and I think that's good enough for this crosscut sled. Then I wipe it down, I put it on, and I realize I have to take my riving knife off because this is one of those riving knives that protrudes and sticks out. So until I don't take that out, I can't put the crosscut sled down. Later I'll reattach this, and I'll make sure that the slot is big enough to accommodate it, which you will see ahead. So I'm just going to give it a little dust down. I like keeping everything clean, although this is destined to be full of dust. So my riving knife is off, and then I put the plate back on. Then I check if the blade is square 90 degrees. That's very important. After that, I just give it a last check if it's flat, the piece that I cut. And it's flat enough, it seems alright. Then I realized that the slots actually need a little bit more work. So I just want to get it to fit even better. So I use my hand plane just to get it close to perfection as I can. Although, to be honest, in the end, they weren't perfect. They had some room. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna replace these anyways. I just want this CrossCut sled to be functional as soon as possible. So then I put the plank back on, and I'm going to attach this from the bottom. I'm first gonna pre-drill a few holes, and I'm gonna attach it from the bottom for about half of the length of this CrossCut sled, and then I'm gonna topple it over and do the rest from the top. It's really important to pre-drill, I've noticed, especially with such thin pine. They're very susceptible to breakage, and I did actually tear out these slots. Then I have to take this front extension off because the slots can't go all the way through with this on. So once I've taken it off, it can go all the way through, and it's satisfactory. It looks good and smooth enough at least. Now I'm going to make the slot by turning the table saw on and bringing the blade up. So once I have the blade up, I make sure to make the slot long enough for the riving knife as well. And although this slot will be pretty much the whole distance of the CrossCut sled, but I just can't cut the whole thing right now because it'll just split in half until I don't get both fences on, the front and the back one. So I'm gonna wait for that. This is the main fence. It has to be square, it has to be at the right angle. And I sand it down before I attach it. I just take a good piece of pine wood that I have, and I cut it up to make the front and the back. I cut the other edges as well, just to make sure that they're straight. And this is the front side, and this is the main one, the back side. So the front side doesn't really matter if it's square or not, that's just to keep it together. And the back one has to be quite square so that all your cross cuts are square as well. And I attach the front one. And once that's done, I put in the main back one. So it's good to clamp before you pre-drill and then just screw everything on. I double check with my square and my Swanson speed square. It looks good, and then I put the clamps on and screw away. Of course I start with just one screw so that I can change the other side with minimal adjustments if I need. So after this, my CrossCut sled is pretty much done, but I have to add one extra feature, which is safety. So this is just a scrap wood piece that I had, which I was using for painting, checking some paint. So I'm going to attach this at the back just to remind myself that the blade comes out from there, so never to put my hand there. And I'm just cutting that piece up, and I'm going to attach it behind the main back fence. Right there. I first just pre-drill one hole and put one screw in, then I realized I think it's better to use two. So then I pre-drill another one and add another screw. So right, that's about it. My CrossCut sled is made and it looks pretty good. I just have to put the riving knife back on, as I told you before, Give everything a quick clean. I'm a clean freak, although there's gonna always be a lot of sawdust everywhere, but and safety's first. I would not want to use this table saw without a riving knife, even with my CrossCut Sled. So I just have to attach this, make sure it's right aligned with the blade. Then I put the plate back on. And take it down, put back my CrossCut Sled, and it works great with the riving knife on, which will always be on. So just making a stop block as a test, just like 3-4 inches, and I clamped it down. Gonna cut a piece of wood to make sure that it cuts the exact same size piece every time. This is a small check, so that's my first cut, then my second cut, and my third cut. And then I check, are these pieces all together, exact same distance, the same size, etc., and they look pretty good. Quite satisfactory. So the CrossCut Sled is working great. So that was me making my CrossCut Sled. I hope you enjoyed it. Please stick around, subscribe, and wait for our next videos. There's loads of projects that I have made and I am making, and I'm filming them just for this channel. And I hope you enjoy it. Till the next video, take care. Bye.